Joy News Prime.
This is indeed Joy News Prime, Ghana's most comprehensive 2 hours of television news. And coming up, thousands of Ghanaian workers joined protests across the various regional capitals to protest recent increase in utility tariffs and tax hikes. Organized Labour is meanwhile hopeful Thursday's meeting with government will prove successful and avert planned strikes lined up as part of initially agreed roadmap of protest actions. Electricity Company of Ghana moves to correct billing errors which have resulted in customers being charged in excess of the tariff increase announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission.
And in business tonight, analysts warn government of grave consequences for the economy if concerns of organized labor are not urgently addressed.
Eton Amse will be here in about 30 minutes with the business news. And police to meet with political parties on plans to disband private security forces. We'll also bring you entertainment, sports, international news, and Joy News Interactive. This bulletin is also available on ABN television on the Sky platform across Europe as well as on Freeview Connect. Stay tuned. Thousands of Ghanaian workers, mostly members of organized labor, hit the streets on Wednesday to protest tariff hikes and a new tax which has caused a 28% increase in the prices of petroleum products. Derek Akosam reports the group wants government to reduce utility tariffs to just 50% of the previous charge. The group is also asking government to withdraw the Energy Sector Levies Act 899, which it says is the reason for the astronomical increase in petroleum prices.
He should be compassionate to us. He should have pity on us that our salaries are not up to what he expects us to pay. If he wants us to pay more, he should then increase our salaries for us. Then we pay realistic taxes for him.
Would you want to share with me how much you earn now and how much you want to earn?
I don't mind sharing.
Okay, tell me.
I earn about below 2,000 cedis.
So I've been speaking to some of the demonstrators here. They tell me what they expect at the end of the day. They know, they tell me this is their first action. Other actions will follow. We've also spoken to the police who are also telling us that they are ready to combat any form of mess up that may occur. Starting from Obra Sport here, they'll use the main circle Accra Road through TUC and then to the Black Star Square.
Looking at the situation now, you buy credit of about 30 cedis. Within 2 days, it is gone. How can we survive, my brother? How can we survive? The salary is static, but the tariffs are going up. We have children to take care of.
It has eroded all my gains, all my economic gain. It's difficult. This is non-partisan. You see what I mean? It's the reality on the ground, which will be reversed. If the government really want to win election, they should reverse all their...
Is this all about winning elections for you?
No, for the government. They think whatever they are doing will enable them to rake in more money so that they can do more projects, okay? And then reach out to other people. But it is not a reasonable decision. They should reverse it.
We are suffering a lot. That's
what exactly do you mean?
The money that we are earning at the end of the month is less than the money that we are spending. That's why. Personally, it's like I'm working but not gaining anything, not having anything down. You are just working and using the same money to pay for the bill.
Organized labor is asking government to reduce the rate of utility tariff increases from their current levels to 50% for both electricity and water.
Oh yeah.
Additionally, the life consumption for water should remain at between 0 and 20 cubic meters. 2. Withdraw the Energy Sector Levies Act 899, which has occasioned very steep increases in petroleum prices at a time when crude oil prices are trembling on the international market and the exchange rate of the Ghana cedi is relatively stable. Honorable Minister, any attempt to fix all our economic challenges within a couple of months or within a year can result in social instability with implications for both economy and the polity. Honourable Minister will remain available to continue the dialogue towards economic and social development of our country, Ghana.
It's been 2.5 hours of protest today. It all ended here at the Black Star Square, where the leadership of organized labor presented the petition to the Employment and Labor Relations Minister, Haruna Idris, who himself was here to receive the petition. I've been speaking to some members of the organized labor, and they tell me they want nothing else but what they have asked for. We'll keep our tabs on that and see what happens when both sides meet on Thursday. From the Black Star Square here in Accra, Derek Ekolsam for Joy News.
So the protesters' petition, as you heard, was received by Employment and Labor Relations Minister Haruna Idris, who had a few things to say, except he was heckled so badly one could barely hear what he had to say.
The minister will pass the no, it's too much, my hand.
Well, still in Accra, some teachers at the Kutubabi cluster of schools unwillingly remained at post despite their desire to join the organized labor demonstration. According to some teachers who spoke on condition of anonymity, the Ghana Education Service deliberately sent out promotion forms, which had to be completed and delivered to the office on Wednesday.
Kutubabi numbers 5, 7 and 11 were among some schools Joy News visited to assess the impact of the demonstration. As at 10 a.m., the school environment was calm with teachers and pupils going about their routine tasks. Most teachers Joy News approach were unwilling to speak on camera for fear of victimization. However, the assistant headmaster of Kutubabi number 7, Matthew Raliutumi, explained that they did not receive any official communication to join the demonstration, but they will not prevent any member of staff from joining the protest.
An academic work is somehow not as the previous days, but it's somehow going on well. I'm sure it has affected it somehow, because if the work is not going on as it happened to last week and so forth, then automatically it could affect the students and even the teachers as well. The day is still young, so maybe as time goes on, somebody may say, because the whole thing is that let's put it this way, it's officially non-official, because we have not been given any document to show that we should come for the demonstration. We are all hearing everything on the waves, but if anyone wants to go, any teacher wants to join the demonstration, nobody is preventing him or her to do that. It's a matter of choice.
Some teachers told Joy News off camera they are in full support of the demonstration.
Our employer GES, and I've read TUC has written letters to our employers to allow us to join, but as I speak, we've not gotten any formal sanction from our employer and our association, NAT, to embark on this demonstration. That is why you see us still at post.
So today,
I have to be frank, we are teaching wholeheartedly, but we are also monitoring what is going on. We wish we would have joined.
Some teachers alleged that the Ghana Education Service deliberately restricted them from joining the demonstration by sending in promotion forms that needed to be filled and delivered to the office today.
There were similar protests in the various regions of the country. In the northern regional capital, Tamale, some school children were spotted loitering as their teachers joined the nationwide demonstration.
Hundreds of workers from the various labor unions took to the principal street of Tamale, holding placards amid brass band music before finally converging at the Northern Regional Coordinating Council to present their petition. The protest left many school children stranded as their teachers left them to join in the demonstration. Some of the school children told Joy News they were returning home, while others had a field day playing football.
7:30, 6:30, there is no any teacher in our school. Then we were going back home.
So have you been told why they are not in school this morning?
No.
So why are you going? If you go home, what will you be telling your parents?
We will tell them that when we went to school, there's no teacher in.
Parents?
We tell them that our teachers do not care.
At the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, Deputy Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Fusaini received the petition and assured them that government was in the process of sitting with the leadership of Trade Union Congress to look into their concerns. Some of the participants shared their motivation to join the demonstration with Joy News.
I feel very dear. We can't accept it. The money as compared to the tax that is increased, the fuel prices. Maybe the president doesn't care for us. He's thinking we are not Ghanaians.
This one is 70%. Even to get water is difficult. One after means your mama can no find water for us. That's why we are suffering. Now to get water is difficult for us. Why?
Now, organized labor in the Ashanti region wants government to either reduce utility bills or increase salaries by 50%. Correspondent Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin covered the Kumasi demonstration for Joy News.
Faced with the jolt in their monthly financial projections, members of labor unions say they have had to devise creative ways to survive. However, prevailing economic conditions make their efforts unsustainable with high utility tariffs and fuel price increase.
They should remember that we are the Etu Ahinis and the Esi Ahinis of this country. They shouldn't forget that we gave them power. We asked them to manage the power in such a way that the workers of this country will not be as we are today. We are pleading. If they do not listen to us, I think we will go straightly by the roadmap given by organized labor.
So, the labor groups, mostly public sector workers, say they can no longer bear the hardship.
And what we are doing is to register our profound displeasure to the current economic situation that is hammering on workers. Hence, the crowd you see. So, as a teacher association, we are also adding our voices to whichever association, whether TUC or whatever association, is also registering its displeasure that we as members of the National Association of Graduate Teachers are also not happy.
The workers lament they have challenged meeting the needs of their families. To them, high prices and tariffs mean there is nothing to save.
If he has increased it by 10% and look at the tariffs, the taxes, the fuel, I'm at a place where I take a car to a school and I may be spending about 5 cedis before coming to the work to back home. So how can I use that percent to cater for all these fares? So that time ago that we cry, it's long time ago. Even it's about 2-3 years now, government haven't increased anything, any salary. No.
They also accuse managers of the national economy of failing to heed alternative suggestions to turn the country's fortunes around.
You know, does it make sense when you say you give me power, then you bring an astronomical prices which I cannot afford it? Then what's the sense in it? The government, Amaliba said it. So we use our thumb.
That's the reason why you've written.
We need change.
Yes.
Obviously, this country needs change. We are tired of this government. It seems like he doesn't care about workers. You know?
Government, however, believes there is no cause for alarm as it is working to stabilize the economy. Organized labor has served notice it will keep pressure on government to withdraw the high tariffs and prices.
Now, some teachers, health workers and artisans also joined the nationwide organized labor demonstration in the Upper West Regional Capital. Rafiq Salam sent in this report from WA.
Hundreds of workers from both the public and private sector, comprising teachers, health workers, hairdressers, dressmakers, and corn millers, joined the demonstration. They were clad in red T-shirts and red armbands as they marched through some principal streets in the Upper West regional capital amidst tight police presence. They wielded placards that asked government to reduce utility and fuel prices. They finally converged at the forecourt of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, where their petition to the government was read by the Upper West Regional Secretary of the Trades Union Congress, George Kofi Mood.
Are we politicians? No! Can we pay school fees? No! So we are demonstrating. Organized labor is asking government to, 1, reduce the rate of utility tariff increases from their current levels to 50% for both electricity and water. Additionally, the lifeline consumption for water should remain at 0 to 20 cubic meters. 2, withdraw the Energy Sector Levies Act, which has occasioned very steep increases in petroleum prices at a time when crude oil prices all over the world are tumbling on the international market and the exchange rate of the Ghana cedi appears stable. I want to emphasize that point. Crude oil prices are tumbling down all over the world. But in Ghana, it is going up.
Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Mushebu Mohammed Alpha received the petition and promised to forward it to the President.
I stand here on behalf of the Honorable Regional Minister to gladly receive this petition of yours and will do everything to let it reach the appropriate quarters. However, I would like to call on all of you to continue conducting your affairs peacefully today and thereafter. And I also like to call on everybody to go back to your workplaces.
Rafiq Salam's report from WA.
Join News Prime. We're taking a break now, but we have a few more reports on the protest to bring to you. We'll be back in a bit. Stay tuned. You're watching Joy News Prime. We return to our stories on the protest where in the Brong-Ahafo region, our correspondent Nestor Kafuya-Joma reports the unionized workers' demonstration was poorly patronized. The demonstration, which started at the Sunyani Post Office with a few workers, later attracted a handful of others during the presentation of the petition at the Regional Coordinating Council.
Our cameras captured massive police presence throughout the demonstration at Sunyani. The demonstrators displayed placards to drum home their message. Some of the workers who did not partake in the demonstration told Joy News it was not necessary for them to get involved because the president was not ready to listen to their plight. The demonstrators presented their petition to the Deputy Brong-Ahafo Regional Minister, Justice Samuel Ejei. The Deputy Regional Minister assured the workers that government will continue to dialogue with the leadership of organized labor until a favorable conclusion is reached.
We'll continue to dialogue with your leaders to make sure that we reached an amicable settlement and agreement with regards to tariff increases so that we all live peacefully in this country and help chalk or champion the cause of development for our dear people. What I would like to tell you this morning is that government is ever ready, government is every time prepared to dialogue with your leadership. So we plead with you to as much as possible to reduce the number of demonstrations in this country so that we can have the needed focus and see to the development of our dear nation to the general benefit of all Ghanaians.
Nestor Kafuya-Joma's report for Joy News.
Organized labor says it is happy with the successful outcome of Wednesday's demonstration held across the country, adding it is enough to pressure government to heed to the demands of workers. General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Solomon Kotai, tells Joy News they are hopeful Thursday's meeting with government will be fruitful. He says they are willing to suspend the roadmap of agitations if government will meet them halfway. So good afternoon, sir. How would you describe today's demonstration? How successful or how successful did it go for you?
Well, we'll describe it as a 98% success, looking at reports filing in from the regions and what took place in Accra, combining Tema and Accra together, and looking at the position of the police, the conduct of the demonstrators themselves. For a very long time, we haven't had such a peaceful and wonderful time. Looking at the record time of the march from Brasport to the Independence Square is such an awesome performance.
How many marches would you say you were able to mobilize across the country?
Indeed, we didn't take a register, but if you look at the stretch from Brasport to Adraka Police Station and you look down and you could still see the crowd still piling in, we could say it just be about 8,000 workforce.
So 8,000 for Accra and
Tema together.
All right, and how about the other regions?
Another region, Kumasi, we are hearing a range of 2,400 plus. In Wa, we are hearing about 750 plus. In the eastern region, we are hearing about 400 plus, and so on and so forth. Other regions are yet to file into it for us.
What do you think worked for you in this demonstration?
Indeed, the circumstance and the challenges of the time, compel people to actually respond to the very short notice that we gave. This one demonstration that came with a very short notice. Indeed, we wrote to employers because this is not a strike, and therefore all employment is supposed to run and do business as usual, so that if you run shifts and then you could have those who are off or some arrangement can be made for some backups for people to come. So indeed, we are ever grateful looking at the numbers, and this is not being a strike action.
What exactly are you asking for?
As of December 2015, PURC was intending to come out with some increases. In fact, those of us who have been in negotiation, it started from 400% on water and electricity. And we kept going forward backwards out of a 3 meeting. Eventually, the side of PURC was to establish what is affecting the stakeholders in terms of VRA, GRIDCO, UCG, and water. Some real challenges, of course, that they have. Now, organized labor took a posture to say, if these are the issues, and it's going to come out of my salary, your salary, to get these things actually serviced. And government, as at November, with the tripartite, came in and increased salaries by a meager of 10%, which, of course, if you take the minimum wage, it culminates into 1 cedi. With these increases alone, the 1 cedi is gone with it. And we know what it is by the 7 cedis. That aside, organized labor was saying that, look, you are coming at a time that we are entering into the Yuletide. Can you just hold on so that people get well informed, well tuned, so that in January this thing can start? And again, we said we want to appreciate how you resulted in the 59.2% and in the 67.2% respectively for electricity and water. Whilst we gave a rep to join the model group who came up with the calculation, they never came back. Only the next day we heard the matter had been gazetted. It has become a law. So from 14th of December, this thing should roll out. Okay. Meanwhile, with the vending system we have, if you go and buy credit and you buy for a whole month as your consumption pattern tells you, are they going to come out to say that because from on the 14th there's a price change, it's going to affect what you have already bought? This is a debate. Because my money had been with you, you've made good use of the money. If I'm not going to get any interest on that money, but rather I'm going to suffer an increase that affects it, it's unfortunate we can't buy power to say I'm using the credit today, so that today when it elapses, it is over with that. So whilst we were discussing this and then they came out that we have gazetted and that is the end of the story, we felt no, organized labor must do something extra. In fact, this is what led to the thinking to say, could we then take our last straw, which is demonstration, to let it go? Then government was very proactive, quickly called us and said, can we meet on the 29th of December? That notwithstanding, there were some few hiccups. We know it was closing the year, and that meeting had to be deferred to 5th of January 2016. Now, we met in that meeting. We're hoping to go and talk about PURC tariffs increases. At the tail end of it, then, the chair in the program slap on our faces with Act 899, the Energy Sector Levy Bill. And we thought this was quite unfortunate. So Labour said at the table, we don't want to discuss this. We don't even want to look at it at all, because fundamentally, when laws, are being promulgated, constituents or individuals that the law affects them, they must be made aware. They must be apprised of the law. I can't just sit here before I say, if you wear a cream tie or a blue and red tie, you can't cross the street, and it is not known to you, and you cross, and the policeman say, hey, I've arrested you. How will it go like? And this is also about money. We all work on very thin line budgets of our incomes, and therefore, if these unannounced, levy is going to be slapped on Ghanaians, we even as leaders, we haven't seen it. We don't know the input. Only for us to hear, even in Parliament, that some members of Parliament were even surprised because government made a representation of 5% and everything ended up in 27.something%. Organized Labour felt this is just too much. This came to consolidate the action to say, look, let us demonstrate on this issue. And one Ghanaians to know, demonstration, for the fact that it's within the ambit of the law, okay, it is a tool wherever in the world that democratic governance, is yielded to. That is why you don't need permission to carry it out. All you need to do, inform police to give you protection. We have had demonstrations in this country where police tells us that we don't have the men to protect you, and we have taken responsibility to say we will do it, okay? Then eventually they come up and then they supported us. This one, we line up to say we'll do on the 19th, demonstration on the 20th, because we are the mouthpiece of civil society, and per our work ethics, we are a pressure group. Today, for instance, pressure had come on government because the whole world have heard, have read, have seen the pent feelings of the average Ghanaian, and it could be plus to government if government gets up and prove to Ghanaians that, look, I care, I have the concern, I will react positively and then reduce this and do that and do that, and that will be positive. If, on the other hand, government feels it's too much, okay, we are choked with it and nothing can be done, that objectivity is left to Ghanaians, because fortunately, unfortunately for us, we are in election year, and this demonstration could be a plus to government or a minus to government.
Now, the government has already come out to say, the Employment and Labour Relations Minister indicated that they're willing to, you wanted the energy levy scrapped entirely, but they said they can reduce the levy. Will that suffice for you?
It's negotiations. In negotiations, you don't get all that you want. And with that spirit, having the good faith spirit also behind us, if we get in there, it's about Ghana. We've given them the right to govern this country. And in governing this country, they need to generate revenue. Whichever means they generate the revenue to deliver to Ghanaians, that is a prerogative that government actually has.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. Right, it's time for business, and Ethan says here.
Hello, Israel.
I'm sure there's some more on the organized labor demonstration.
Right. I know it's dominated the news today, and so some analysts are warning government to take caution and listen to the demonstrators and listen to them and do what they are asking them to do. Otherwise, this will drive investors away. It's not a good picture. Now, renowned economist Kwame Pianim is asking government to quickly address concerns of organized labor to help mitigate any possible negative impact on the economy. About 12,000 members of the various labor unions hit the streets on Wednesday to protest against the recent utility tariff increases and taxes on petroleum products. Already, some judicial staff and workers of the various state universities are on strike. Mr. Pianim tells Joy Business government needs to address the issue to avert any negative consequences.
There's disturbance among the workforce. Of course, it affects the whole economy. It also affects investors who are coming in. Will they have a collaborative, cooperative labor force, or is there going to be an adversarial relationship with labor? I think all this, I think it's discussion. If people have to sit down and talk, and when people feel that everybody is making a contribution, sacrificing, they are not worried. When there's a perception that it's only us who are being asked or being given leather belts and everybody else has an elastic belt, then there's confusion. But look, what I'm saying is that government needs to communicate to the people, and the people need to listen and then believe that the government is on the right path, and therefore we all make sacrifices to attain a better tomorrow for the young children.
Away from labor, the IMF says it is satisfied with Ghana's performance under the fund program, especially in respect of the cut and rising deficits. There were earlier reports that some IMF board members had major concerns about the country's performance under the program so far. But speaking to journalists in Accra via video conference from Washington, D.C., head of the Ghana mission, Joel Tojas Bernard, says that is not accurate.
We consider that indeed, implementation of the program has been broadly satisfactory so far. In particular, the fiscal adjustment is on track, and I would like to recall that this was one of the key pillars of the program, given the very large fiscal deficit that we have seen in the last few years and the rapid accumulation of debt that was a consequence of these large deficits. An ambitious fiscal adjustment was really needed to stabilize the debt level and put it back on a sustainable path. And with regard to fiscal consolidation, as I said earlier, these efforts are on track, and we also very much welcome, the additional adjustment that the authorities are implementing with the 2016 budget.
Government has been challenged to focus on entrepreneurial training for young people between the ages of 15 and 35. This follows latest research which reveals over 2/3 of players in Ghana's informal sector are JHS and SHS leavers in this age range. The report on the urban informal economy in Ghana was launched today. The researcher Eben Inuwa Ama tells Joy Business the informal sector has huge prospects for this country.
Most of the people in the informal sector are youth between the ages of 15 and 35. And for me, that's quite instructive. And two, most of them completed JHS and SHS, which means that really JHS and SHS is terminal for most people. And the fact that they are young people, if we focus on entrepreneurship development for youth, Ghana will go a very long way. So it's about time we started entrepreneurship training at the lower levels of education, particularly JHS and SHS.
All right, it's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, and we are still looking at the stock and commodity market, wondering whether we are on the right track. And John is here to help us. John, tell me today we have some good news.
Lots and lots of goodies for you today. As almost about 9 mid-range, or we call them mid-cap equities trade, about 9 of them. Out of the 9, about 4 or 5 really added to the values of their investors, especially Ben's oil palm plantation actually added 19 pesos to close the market at 3 Ghana cedis. That's quite significant. Of course, we had Carl Bank, EBG, that's Ecobank Ghana, Farm Milk, and GCB also added 2 pesos to their investors. That's quite significant, okay? But the point is this, it didn't really move the market that much because these are, we call them mid or small cap equities. Their capitalization is not that big. And aside, they are not enough to influence the market to really move. So but
it's good compared to yesterday. Yesterday we had...
It was so bad. But of course, I'm talking about the volume. You see some more volumes trading, but of course the values keep dwindling because they are made of smaller size, smaller caps. That's basically what it means. But to you as the investor,
right?
I mean, gaining 19 pesos.
That's a lot for
per
me.
share. It's quite significant in a day.
Right.
That's quite big. So we want to see more of this is actually going on. So that's basically about the market. But of course,
commodities, please tell me, crude is doing well.
Unfortunately, crude did not do that well. Crude is now $27
per barrel.
70 cents per barrel.
John,
they lost almost about $1 12 cents.
I think what analysts are saying, are projecting that it will get to about $19 per barrel by the middle of this year. We're going to have it earlier than that. That's my opinion.
Much earlier than that, and that prediction is really, really, really on track because even as at now, we've not yet ended January, and crude is around $27 per barrel. That's quite significant, causing a lot of uproar globally.
And I hear it's affecting Barclays. It's actually packing out of South Africa because it's
Barclays is not packing out of South Africa because of the crude, but of course commodities in general. Okay, and of course some dynamics on the continent, especially in China. That's actually what's forcing. But of course, they've come out to deny that. So sometimes you don't really want to just go to that direction, but to wait and see.
And
that's
get
exactly
an official.
What it is. But cocoa also lost significantly, $124.
That's too much.
Yes,
that's too much.
Too much. Okay, to close at 2,810 per metric ton. That's basically how it is. And of course, Ghana as a cocoa exporting country, there's cause to worry.
There's cause to worry
this going forward, because
there's pressure competition coming from Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire is actually trying much as possible to actually increase. Even Brazil and Nigeria, which is not noted to be a very huge in terms when it comes to cocoa, they're also doing well to increase their volume they export. But Ghana, as our volumes keep dwindling, values also keep going down. So we should be looking at this. Is what
do we have good news with the CD and dollar?
Unfortunately, no, because today the CD lost to almost all convertible currencies. Let me put it that way,
including the British.
Every convertible
British
currency,
pound.
every hard currency, the CD lost to it. That's basically it, at all. So that's been it for the market. I can't say much about it. You can look at the numbers on the board. Okay, that's how it is, basically. CD is getting weaker and weaker by the day.
It means you haven't been praying, John.
Well, there's a limit to what prayer can do in this respect. That's all.
Or shall I give you Setekpe's number and then the governor of the Bank of Ghana?
To really, I think they should really be coming up with some innovative ways of
actually going John, but I'm sure they're doing something.
It's not here, it's not in Ghana, I mean, at all.
Yes,
we should be clear about this.
I know the South African rand is also struggling.
Nigeria is struggling. Egypt, Kenya, they're all struggling. So I think that we shouldn't really just hit our hearts so hard. It's like season, of course. What's happening to China is affecting almost everybody across, That's how basically it is. So Ghana should know, but that doesn't also mean we should go to sleep. We should find some innovative ways of actually rekindling some of these. We can do something.
Thank you, John.
Really do something.
We can do something.
That has been the market.
All
At least the stock market is giving us some hope.
All right. Thank you so much, John, for that analysis. And that's how we wrap up for today. My name is Eton Amse. Many thanks for your time.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana says it has begun the process of reimbursing prepaid customers who were overbilled following the recent increase in utility tariffs. Several customers have complained their prepaid units ran out too quickly and are charged way more than the increases announced.
3 days back, I bought 50 cedis. I was expecting to last for about a month. But I realized after 3 days, it was off. So I went in for another, I think, 20 cedis. And with the 20 cedis, I was just imagining that 50 plus 20, how much would it be? So it should last for like 2 months. But there was so much issue. So we were thinking there was a problem with the meter. But we've really complained about this meter. And yet, so nothing is happening. We go to the office, and when we return, what they always say is they will come, they will come, they will come.
Very, very bad. Like initially, I used to buy 70 Ghana cedis, and that could last me for a month. And now it's only lasting for 2 weeks. And every now and then, I just checked my meter this morning. Like it's running short. I don't know what's wrong with the system. They would have to check it again, please.
My auntie just bought some like 2 days ago. That is 50 cedi, and we put it in, and the following day it went off. And then we went to buy another 50 cedi. 2 days time it went off. So we went back to their office, and they are telling us they don't have anything to say about it and blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't last long, does it? Sometimes we buy like 100 cedis a week.
I don't think it's okay at all. It's very bad.
Now, a number of the protesters who joined Wednesday's demonstration highlighted the problem. Though ECG concedes there has been some overbilling, another component of the hike most customers tend to ignore, according to ECG, is the energy levy. Public Relations Officer William Boateng, in an interview with Joy News, urged aggrieved customers to visit ECG offices to seek redress.
We've done like we promised. I can give you some statistics now to prove that exactly what we've done. When we talk about the e-cash, we have 531,000 customers. Those that came to purchase around the 14th to 31st December. 14th to 31st December. They are those that will require some calculation and refund when we do the reconciliation. as I speak, customers that we've done the refund, we are talking about 289,000 customers out of the 333,000 that came around that time. We refund an amount of 3.1 million. It means that we are doing what we said the system will definitely do. So when you those that purchased between the 14th to 31st, they are those that the system is calculating, and then after the reconciliation, the refund is given out.
So for those who have concerns now, who think that they were not refunded within the time, what do they do?
Per our records, we are talking about nearly 44,000 customers who have not done the refund. Either they have not been there or the system has failed in doing the recalculation. We've asked that when you go and have any challenge, see the district office. They will definitely attend to you. This is a system that we are operating. But our records show that they have not been at the vending points as we speak. So we have about 44,000 that have not been at the vending points.
And how long will it take for you to clear those people?
No, they have to come until they come to vend. They come to do the deposit, and we pick their cards. Then we can access their accounts.
And then do that.
And then the reconciliation will take place. Yes, definitely.
One more thing. There are some people who've been complaining about their meters overrunning. They buy credit today, 100 cedis, which ordinarily would take them about a week or 2 weeks. Now, in 3 days, is gone. What's happening?
We have customers that came to our vending points. You know, majority of our customers, we are talking about 80 to 90% of our customers really vend in the first week of the month, if you are aware. That's between the first to, at the worst case scenario, 10th. Now, those that came between that first week we are talking about purchased or deposited cash. We using the old tariff regime. The system will be using the old tariff regime. You know, be mindful of the fact that PRC gave us the tariff adjustment effective 14th. So if you come and you vend and you deposit money into your accounts, that we are using the old regime, old tariff regime. Those who came around last week or the first week of January, it means that they are owing the ECG some arrears of about 3 weeks. PRC gave us a tariff adjustment of nearly 60%, 59.2%. There's also government levies.
Of how much?
We are talking now in the region of about 10%. 5% for the electrification projects, rural electrification projects, and 5% for the street lighting. So we are talking about 10% now. So we are running the region of around 70% increment. Now, if you come in the first week or if you come around this time, you have for the first time to vend in January, and the last time you went to the vending point, we are talking about the first 10 days where we have not effected the new tariff. It means that between the 14th to date, there's an arrears for you to settle.
Now, the suspended second vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Sami Crab, has sued the party for suspending him. Mr. Crab, among other things, is asking an Accra High Court to quash the NPP's National Disciplinary Committee's recommendation that led to his suspension in December last year. He was accused by some members of engaging in acts that undermine the NPP's authority. Head of our political desk here at Joy News, Evans Spencer, has been going through the suit and joins me with more. Good evening to Evans. What are some of the reliefs that Mr. Crab is seeking?
One, that the decision taken by the parties violates their own constitution, that his fundamental human rights to fair hearing has been breached and essentially be reinstated.
And is it something that looks likely to succeed?
Well, the court will decide that, but for him, he's quite convinced that this is something that he will win. We spoke to him about an hour ago where he talks about the fact that this has been a gross violation of his human rights by people he calls sycophants and subversionists, people who he believes are simply doing the bidding of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And so the court, and he's chosen an interesting forum. He's gone to the Human Rights Court. And his belief is that this is a clear human rights case.
Why human rights?
That his fundamental human rights to, to be heard.
Which of his human rights have been?
Right to be heard, before a decision is. You recall that when the party began this process,
he was invited.
He was invited, and he came on and said that he was not going to submit himself to the processes, but he believes that, be that as it may,
whichever way,
the Constitution, his constitutional rights, as guaranteed by the NPP's Constitution, has been violated, and therefore he's taken this particular matter to court. But in the meantime, though, he still associates with the action already taken by the suspended national chairman. He says, Sammy Crab says, he doesn't even see himself as suspended. We shouldn't even call him suspended, second vice chairman of the party. He believes he's still the second vice chairman. He's just going to court for clarity on that because they've taken a decision to suspend him that he believes is illegal.
Have we heard from the party yet?
Not yet. But the party's position on all the legal matters has been, one, keep quiet. Second, let's go to court and fight this. And they're going to mount a strong defense. We know in the case of the national chairman who's been suspended, Paul Afoko, they filed processes challenging his claims. And so this is going to be one thing. And I asked him the question about, this is an election year. We have 10 months of election in November. He says, well, he doesn't really think that he is the one who is going to detract from the party's main focus of winning the elections. Because those who took the decision against him last year should have known that this was coming. And once they've done that, then they should simply face the full consequences of it this year.
All right, thank you very much, Evans Mensah. Evans Mensah is head of our political desk here at Joy News. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you international news. Now, of the many protests that happened today across the country as far as the organized labor demonstrations are concerned, there was something interesting that happened in the Eastern region. The regional police commander endorsed the demonstration by offering the police band to motivate the protesters. Correspondent Kofi Sian sent in this report.
The Eastern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Angbutoge Awuni, revealed that he requested the regional police band to support the march because he supported it. The regional commander was speaking to the leadership of the demonstration before they took off from the premises of the Labour Regional Office in Kufodi.
Show this to your men, that whatever will bring about confrontation should be avoided. So that in about 3-4 hours' time, this thing is over. And then the government will know that workers of this country have spoken. We are all workers. Let me be very frank with you. If it goes well for me. Sure, of course. You see? But I cannot go there and demonstrate. So we would like you to help us to finish this demonstration without anybody being scratched. That's all that I want to do.
Yes, sir. We also want to thank you so much for this word of advice.
Right, so there was an interesting bit that happened in the Eastern region, and it's all coming up on Joy News Interactive. And if our Karising is here to say, very interesting. Very, very. Because essentially, here's a regional commander who's actually endorsing the protest.
Yeah, he's also a worker.
You have the police band play for you.
Yeah, let's go. Let's have fun. Party. Okay, well, what else is there to talk about than organized labor's demonstration earlier today? And then, what have you been doing to conserve energy?
Since they increased it, I've never been using my meter, so I'm off for now.
Even though it seems we have constant power supply now, the cost to the pocket doesn't only have people going to extremes to cut down on energy consumption. It also has many Ghanaians wondering if they aren't being cheated. It's all coming up in a bit on Joy News Interactive with me, Ifwa Akwai Harrison. Israel.
All right, and another thing that's coming up, the terminology we're using, we used to have doomso.
Doomso.
It's now being changed to something else. And I'll share that with you when we come on Joy News Interactive.
All right, so things to look out for.
Yeah, so do stay tuned. We have all that coming up. Plus, we have entertainment and sports coming up in the second hour of the bulletin. Please stay tuned. Right, time now to recap our top stories on Joy News Prime. Thousands of Ghanaian workers joined protests across the various regional capitals to protest recent increase in utility tariff and tax hikes. Organized Labour is meanwhile hopeful Thursday's meeting with government will prove successful and avert planned strikes lined up as part of an agreed roadmap of protest actions. The Electricity Company of Ghana is moving to correct billing errors which have resulted in customers being charged in excess of the tariff increase announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. And in business, analysts warn government of grave consequences for the economy if concerns of organized labor are not urgently addressed. Now on to the rest of our stories. And the Inspector General of Police, John Kudalo, says the police will soon hold talks with the major political parties to find ways to disband private security forces affiliated to the parties. The forces, including the Bamba Boys, Azoka Boys and Invincible Forces, have been linked to various violent incidents in the lead-up to and during elections. At the launch of the reactivated National Election Security Task Force in Accra on Wednesday, Mr. Kudalo promised to ensure Ghanaians are safe during the polls.
The task force comprises representatives of all the security agencies, including the BNI, SEPS, Fire Service, and the Immigration Service. It will also have officials from the Electoral Commission and the Research Department at the Foreign Affairs and Local Government Ministries. IGP John Kudalo said the task force is crucial to the success of this year's election.
You will agree with me that elections play a critical role in every democratic dispensation, and the 2016 election is no exception. 7th November 2016, which is set as the date for the presidential and parliamentary elections, is fast approaching, and all Ghanaians will be going to the polls to cast their votes to decide on the leadership of the country for the next 4 years. Our role as security agencies in elections is to plan and ensure security before, during, and after elections.
Mr. Kudalo also said the police will work with the various security agencies to ensure a peaceful poll. He indicated that private security forces affiliated to political parties will not be tolerated during the election.
We are all aware of the proliferation of the formation of unauthorized private security bodies of armed youth, better known as vigilante groups, within and outside a number of political parties. The growing phenomenon of armed youth who try to take the law into their own hands cannot be allowed to continue.
Outgoing Interior Minister Marco Yongo indicated that the task force will work at the regional and district levels as well.
It is a known fact that no two elections are the same. The need, therefore, to constitute the National Election Security Task Force is therefore very relevant. Task force has been replicated as indicated throughout the country at the regional level and at the district level. The aim, as already indicated, is to provide the right platforms that will deal with all election security related issues in a coordinated manner at those levels before they degenerate into bigger national problems.
A deputy commissioner at the Electoral Commission, Amadou Sule, said the EC would ensure a free and fair poll.
The commission is going to stick to the guiding principles of electoral justice. One of them is transparency, participation, accuracy, timeliness. There are several of them. So we are making sure we are in line with that.
An oversight coordinating committee is to be set up by the National Security Coordinator to support the task force to do its work. Fifi Kumsin, Police Headquarters, Accra.
Officials of the Ghana Commercial Bank and Ecobank have been summoned before the Public Accounts Committee to explain why they held on to 83 million Ghana cedis belonging to the state in clear violation of the Financial Administration Act, which requires deposit of such monies into the Consolidated Fund 3 days after collection. The money represents various taxes paid on petroleum products lifted by the oil marketing companies from the Tema Oil Refinery for the period 2011. Several years down the line, the money is said to be in the custody of the banks without the knowledge of the Ghana.Revenue Authority. The revelation came to light in the Auditor General's report currently being scrutinized by the Public Accounts Committee.
Across the country, wherever money goes direct to the banks before they send it to consolidated accounts, DVLA, whatever it is, the bank deliberately delay the money and they can use it to do call account interest and earn, and government suffers. That is what goes on. That's the reason why we are concerned seriously. 83 million a bank can use for call account and come and pay interest to the bank for 2 years is a very significant issue. And I'm very happy that this is the crux of the matter. Why we are here and why the editors raise it is because of they are cheating government. Nothing more than that. And this, I think we should take it very serious. The banks, as insisted, will have to give us the reason why they delay government's money transfer. We need to summon them here. And then we'll clear that issue. Then we'll resolve it once and for all for the nation to benefit. You can't let people pay income tax. Then income tax is delayed while consolidated accounts is being short of that money we needed it to do other activities. So, Mr. Chairman, I agree with my colleague, Honorable Asiama. Let's bring those people in authority here to give us the reason why. And we must also calculate how they use the money, the interest they earn against the interest they pay to government. It can be done. The auditors have time to do that.
Did you say that at a point the banks do estimate and transfer to you?
We are saying that in some instances at the end of the month, because we require them to pay within a short period, within 3 days of collection, they go through the figures, and in order for them not to breach the 3 days, they transfer estimated amount, and then we do the reconciliation, just so that if there is any shortfall on which you have to charge them interest, it will not be too much.
Your professionalism has come to question. You reconcile in 2010. You not do any reconciliation. 2011, no reconciliation. 2012, until the auditors audited in 2013, because we are dealing with 2012 accounts. So the audit took place in 2010. 3 good years. What type of reconciliation did you do? So you've called your own professionalism into question. Are you sure you are being truthful to this committee and Ghanaians?
Mr. Chairman, we are truthful to the committee. We have evidence to that.
Can you give us letters that you wrote in 2010 on monthly basis, 2011 and 2012, to justify what you are saying that is the responsibility of the bank that failed, and what action did you take then?
What the action we took was that we went through the whole bank statement, look at the transfer days one by one, and computed interest and sent to the bank.
I want to state it categorically that I did not do the work. Because generally you will find anomalies. They will still be outstanding in February 2010, March 2010, April 2010, up to December 2010. A continuous January 2011 up to December 2011. Follows from January 2012 up to December 2012. And you say you were doing reconciliation. Please, I'm not too sure you are being truthful to this. And know that you are speaking under oath.
The committee will meet the banks involved, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana and the Commissioner General of Ghana.Revenue Authority on Thursday to reconcile the figure. But a member of the committee, Barima Osei Asare, tells parliamentary correspondent Elton John Brobe that development shows lack of monitoring on the part of the GRA.
With this one, it was at the instance of the auditors that GRA realized that the banks hadn't paid in so much money to the tune of 83.3 million Ghana cedis. And here is the government coming to Parliament every now and then, asking Parliament to impose taxes on so many things. And your 83.3 million Ghana cedis sits with 2 banks. and you're not going after it.
Where is the challenge coming from your own perspective?
It's all about lack of reconciliation from GRA, Bank of Ghana, and then EcoBank and GCB.
How regular should that be done?
Normally, under normal circumstances, your reconciliation should be done monthly. And even looking at the volumes of transactions that go on every day, I think if GRA can, a weekly reconciliation will avoid some of these things.
Meanwhile, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kofi Wampa, has one last opportunity to escape the full wrath of Parliament. The governor, for the second time, failed to show up before the committee, but escaped contempt charges following the intervention of the Deputy Finance Minister Mono Kwoti and some members of the committee. But MP for Echuman Isaac Kesiama is warning the governor will face sanctions if he does not appear on Thursday to respond to audit queries raised against the bank.
Nobody can declare an invitation from a committee of parliament. So, more so when you are entrusted with public funds, you are a public officer, you are there for the good of this country. So, you cannot, under any circumstance, decline an invitation from Parliament of Ghana. The moment you do that, then we are compelled to summon you and to subpoena you, which may happen very soon. On several occasions, I think it's only once that we have seen the governor here. And yearly, we deal with the Auditor General's reports, many reports. Some involve the work of Bank of Ghana and other bodies. So when it comes to your turn and you refuse an invitation from Public Accounts Committee, you are insulting the whole country.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break now. When we come back, entertainment.
Entertainment news is...
Right, time for entertainment, and guess who shows up in all orange, really? But it's bright, though.
I guess you love it.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
I really love orange, except it's unusual to see you in orange.
Well, it's good to be unpredictable, to do things that, you wouldn't expect people to think that you can do. So today I'm looking all orange and black.
It's cool. Right. What's coming up?
Okay, so a lot's coming up in entertainment, but let's start with the biggest story for today, and of course is Shatta Wale. Guess who's talking about Shatta Wale? Of all the people
Bulldog.
you could... No, Bulldog. Yeah.
Oh, Samini.
Yes.
I think
Samini.
I read an article like that.
Yes, Samini is so happy for Shatta Wale. He thinks that Kakai is a banger.
What has changed?
Nothing. They say it's dancehall beef. It's not a personal thing. And so everything that they do is a lyrical battle. It hasn't got to do with, their personalities or anything.
You know how when somebody comes to you and starts telling you nice things and you're waiting for the buts?
Okay. In this case, there's no batch yet, and except that there's not going to be a Samini Shatta Wale collaboration until Shatta Wale apologizes to Samini's mom. That has been stated clearly for all of us to know. But this time around, he's talking about Kakai. He says it's a banger. It's got a hook that gets everybody's attention. Samini, loves the song Kakai. And that's become a big story today for all entertainers.
Kai.
Shatta Wale, I come to you like Kakai. Yeah.
Shatta Wale, I come like Kakai. Shatta Wale, come like Kakai.
But we like that. We like that.
Yeah.
These things keep the entertainment world going round.
You know the part of the song I love most? Call me Mensa Waterbell.
Oh,
have you paid attention to that line?
No.
Waterbell. Yeah, that's what he says,
He's patwine Pastor Mensa Waterbell.
Yeah, he is patwine Pastor Mensa Waterbell. And again, someone else from Shatta Wale's camp, who is no longer with him, is talking about another artist. So I dare you to guess again.
Oh, this time I can't guess. No. Who's that? Just tell us.
Someone who used to be in Shatta's camp. Who moved from Shatta's camp just recently?
Bulldog?
Yeah.
But I mentioned Bulldog the first time.
Earlier. No, that was earlier, and
He was the only other person I could have mentioned.
Bulldog is predicting Stonebwoy as his Artist of the Year 2015 for the Ghana Music Awards. Who would believe that Bulldog would think that Stone Boy.
And I'm sure Shatta Wale will have a few things to say about that.
I tell you that, in fact, considering the fact that people are still talking about Shatta Wale to be nominated or not nominated by the Ghana Music Award Board. So it's going to be like, okay, so you move from my camp and all of a sudden you don't think I deserve to be Artist of the Year, you know. But he's saying that he thinks that, you know, Stone Boy.
Well, it could also be that Bulldog is just being realistic. He just looks at it as a professional and he thinks that.
You think so?
Stone Boy.
You think so?
But yeah.
Because Shatta has submitted 10 songs.
Yeah, it's not the number of songs you submitted, it's about the quality of the songs and the impact of the songs and the influence.
Anyway, well, we hope to see that Stone Boy, you know, or Bisa or Shatta pick up the Artist
Whichever,
of the Year.
we're cool with it.
Exactly.
Whichever we're cool
Exactly. So let's talk about Dinah Hamilton entry. Now, she used to be a backing vocalist for Francis Ajay back in the day, and then she moved on to become a solo artist of her own. I remember that she's done a couple of songs. One of them that was a hit last year was Eyewa O. There was a song like that. Right. And she's a UK-based nurse, but she's Ghanaian. Okay. And she comes,
I know she has a show coming up.
Yes, she has Hamilton Experience. That's what she calls it.
Right.
Coming up on the 30th of January. And she's going to have my very childhood Nigerian musician, like favorite Nigerian musician, Sami Okposo, coming down to Ghana to perform with her as well. So she visited us here at Multimedia today, and she's been talking about the challenges of being a gospel musician based in the UK, but doing songs for the Ghanaian market. Yes, exactly. And also the concerts.
The distance, you know, to be able to, and then also to be able to get a good product out there, coming all the way down to actually do the recording first, then you have to quickly rush back because there's work, there's husband, there's kids, and then come back 3 days to do a video shoot and go back. And then also things are getting easier for people downloading songs illegally, making it difficult for CDs to be sold, and then the pressure of getting a hit over and over and over again. The experience of Dinah Hamilton, it's a time of praise and worship that I put together. I've done it a couple of times in the UK, and Ghanaians have been asking, when are you bringing it to Ghana? So it's here in Ghana now, happening on the 30th of January, which is a week on Saturday, at the National Theatre, 4 o'clock. It's coming on live with stellar lineup of some good singers. Joe Metal, Ankala Tool, Sami Okposo from Nigeria, Baba Filemon from China, PNK here in Ghana. Yours truly will be there. It's a time where we lift up worship to God, praise, dance, fun in the presence of God. I've seen it happen before, and the God who did it in the UK, it's the same God who do it here.
Dinah Hamilton, I think she does some good. She's a pleasant lady.
She's very, very pleasant.
I met her over Christmas. Yeah, we're supposed to MC a show.
Just last Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
She's
so trendy, very fashionable. I follow her on Facebook, and every Sunday she has a picture to splash. You know, she has a picture to show. She has something to flaunt anyway. Okay, so let's talk about another gospel musician who woke up feeling so pissed that Ghanaians won't just leave Bisa Kade and Becca alone. Gifty Osei woke up this morning, took a picture of herself, posted on Instagram, and had a caption, "I'm pissed this morning. Why can't Becca and Bisa Kade get together or be lovers? Why can't they date?" That's his, you know, that's a frustration.
Okay, but are we stopping them from dating?
She says Ghanaians are talking too much about them. What's our problem?
No, we're talking about them. We actually want them to date. I mean, I want them to date.
I don't think Gifty Osei gets that message. She thinks that, you know, we are just, you know, being on their case. You know, there are lots of people who say, Becca, why will you date Bisa? You know,
well, we haven't said that.
We haven't said that.
I mean, we're encouraging them. We're matchmaking.
Yes,
actually.
yes. We still want, you know, a lot of celebrity babies, you know, so we can't wait to have them together.
So we can gossip about them.
True, and then go for their wedding and all that. So that's Gifty Osei's frustration this morning. She woke up feeling pissed.
Sister Gifty for chill.
Empress One. She calls herself Empress.
Empress One.
Yes, Empress One.
Chill, man.
Okay, so Kunta Kinte, the other half of the group brothers. I remember late last year I spoke to their elder brother, who is Ochami Kwame, about Kunta's stroke. You know, Kunta had to deal with stroke, I think about 6 years ago. He had stroke, and ever since then, he's not been the normal Kunta Kinte. And recently, he granted an interview on Hits FM where he talks about the fact that he was in coma for 3 days, and he woke up to see a mortuary attendant by him, preparing him for the morgue.
For real?
Yes, he revealed that on radio, that, you know, the man was actually preparing him because they had given up on him, because 3 days he couldn't breathe, nothing was happening with him. And so that's the big story for a lot of us, and we are glad that he's doing well.
Yeah, he's lived to tell that story. I mean, otherwise he would have been gone. And, and that story is said a lot of the time that people are actually sent to the morgue when they're not really dead.
True. And the last story is about the Oscars. And you know that after...
The Oscars so
white. The all-white Oscars, you know, after the nomination list came out, a lot of the Black American celebrities and not too happy about the nomination list. A lot are calling on Chris Rock to boycott, you know, emceeing the show. Yes, to boycott emceeing the show. A lot more are calling for others not to show up. So we have the like of David Oyelowo, who is Nigerian by birth, and we have Lupita also calling for a boycott. Jada too wants blacks not to attend. Spike Lee as well. A lot more of them are saying that, look, there's no need. Whoopi Goldberg as well is saying that there's no need for us to show up there if they don't believe in us, and if they won't nominate us for the Oscars, let the whites go for the Oscars. So that's it.
I think it would be cool to actually have the you know, Black American actors and actresses also hold their own event on the side.
Exactly. Maybe on the same day.
It could happen.
On the same day, just like Shatawale did to the VGMAs last year.
And give their own Oscars to Ibrahim Mata.
You see, but finally, there's good news for us here in Ghana, because Reggie and Boli have been signed on to the Cycle Entertainment Group, which belongs to Simon Cowell. You know, when they were done with the X Factor, we heard that Sony Records was actually picking them up, but now we hear that it's Simon Cowell who's going to have them on, signing them on. So
I saw that tweet. They actually posted a video.
Yeah, they posted a tweet. Okay, they posted a video as well. We saw the tweets today to confirm that they have been signed on.
Okay, I'm going to pull up that video a lot later on. It's on their Twitter handle.
Okay.
I'm going to get that.
Okay.
And share with you on Joy News Interactive.
All right, Israel. So that's it for entertainment today. And remember that it's brought to you by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thank you very much. That's it for entertainment. Up next, we bring you sports.
Entertainment news was brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right, time for sports, and Gary Alsmith is here. Good evening to you, Gary.
Hey.
You're feeling a lot better today?
So yesterday...
We missed you yesterday.
I went home quietly. I mean, even people at work didn't know I was feeling feverish.
You all right?
Then I got home, and in one of the WhatsApp groups, at exactly 8:28, I think that was the time you were reading the sports, I started getting messages, get well soon, get well soon. I was wondering, and then it just occurred to me that, oh, Israel should have mentioned it.
I mentioned it on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was just around this time. Because I didn't tell anyone I wasn't feeling well. You know, I just went home, went to just have a couple of drugs and...
Okay, good to have you. I mean, at least you're doing good.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. It was just one of those things.
Take it away.
Right, so in the sports today, it's transfer deadline day here in Ghana. We are used to seeing a lot of frantic activity in England, Spain, Holland, and in European countries. And today, the scene in Ghana mirrored it as well. But first of all, we do a transfer that has been trending, but that is yet to be announced. Leicester City, as you know, are yet to make official the move with Daniel Amate. We understand that the latest with that move is that Daniel needs to sort out a few work permit issues. Now, let me explain. You know that if you have a certain number of caps for your national team, automatically you can get a work permit to play in the Premier League. But Daniel has only 6 caps for the Black Stars. So he needs to go through something they call the special talent dispensation. He needs to prove, or Leicester need to prove, that he's a special talent and has potential, and then they can give him a work permit quickly. But with all the news that's happening with the 21-year-old George Boateng, former Dutch international, says he's delighted with the Ghana defender's move to the Premier League.
Yeah, I was speaking about Daniel earlier. I think it's a fantastic move for him. Everything about Leicester is positive. They are in the top 2, top 3 at the moment, and they're doing well. So hopefully Daniel can develop his game and move on to better things. But it's a good move. I prefer players making those kind of moves than to other deserted countries.
That's George Boateng speaking there. And like I said, I'll be giving you details of the transfer deadline day here in Ghana. But last season, some of Ghana's best players, and indeed in the intervening months, some of Ghana's best players have moved from the Ghana Premier League into leagues all over the world. And just like we have the brain drain, others call it the feet drain or the football drain. But guess what? Former Asante Kotoko coach Masud Didi Dramani says that he supports player exodus, saying that it actually helps Ghanaian football to grow.
Important players move outside because that is a trend of the game. You need to move outside and you need to get new ideas. You need to get new mentality. You know, it helps in development of the game. What is important is that we need to continue to develop because you can never stop the players from moving outside. It is a trend that is, you know, engulfed in football, and so we only have to cope with it. And how do you cope with it? We always continue to prepare and have the right people on the ground and then to be able to nurture. For us, from the technical director, we are always associated with grassroots football because that is the base of the future of football. If not so, Sol Campbell, George Boateng, Augustine Ahimfol, and then the captain Stephen Appiah wouldn't have been here. You know, they are here because they appreciate what football has done for them, and the only way they can pay their dues is to get closer to the young generation in order to give them, you know, shining examples. And their talk was very, very significant, talking about discipline, talking about education, and talking about their.
Right. So that's it really for the player exodus. But some players are staying here in Ghana. And so we'll be checking out on My Joy Online pretty shortly some of the deals that have been made today and some also which did not materialize. But if we don't have that at the moment. Okay, so the top story on My Joy Online, please go up for me, is the fact that on the transfer deadline day, since 8 a.m. this morning, we have had the rolling blog on My Joy Online. And as you can see, well, Eric Bequin is the biggest mover. Eric Bequin used to play for Asante Kotoko, and also he was the goal king. He went to Egypt, had an injury, came back to Ghana, played for Brecum Chelsea, had an injury again, and his career has not been the same since we understand that Sekendi Hazakes have snapped him up. You'll also recall that in the last 24 hours, we heard that Hearts of Oak's Philip Boampong had been sacked. Today, we are hearing that Sekendi Hazakes have also signed him. Ashgold have also completed the signing of up to about 3 players, and we understand that Hearts of Oak are also in the market for their former defensive midfielder, Moro Abubakar. Don't forget that the transfer window ends at 11:59 Ghana time tonight, and then it's done. So I would have loved us to see some of those photos and pictures and also the videos. However, we are having issues right now. Okay, I guess it's back. So let's check some of them now. Let's check the story. So we started. Done deal. Mediama have announced the signing of former All-Stars defensive midfielder James Akamenko on a 2-year deal. Akamenko, the junior brother of Ghana international Jerry, is expected to bolster the squad ahead of the side's busy schedule this season. Let's go up and check some of it. at 6:56, we announced that sacked Hearts of Oak defender, like I said, Philip Boampong, has joined Sekendi Hazakes. Also, you remember this man? This man was one of the players who won the Under-20 World Cup in Egypt when Ghana won it. He was part of that squad, and Ash Gold have signed him up. Now, all Hearts of Oak at the moment, according to Ghana SoccerNet, Moro Abubakar, who I just mentioned, is returning to Hearts of Oak. It's imminent as a midfielder is on the verge of agreeing the deal with Ephobians. And also, let's go up and see some confirmed ones. This is Asempa FM's Frank Kwesi Ejam confirms that only 8 players have been signed by Hearts of Oak. Mustafa Isuman, Cosmos Dauda, Richard Akrofi, and who is pictured below. This is Richard Akrofi, number 7. Musa Ibrahim, Kennedy Apia, Samuel Akurugu, and some 2 others. Now, look at this name here, Samudin Ibrahim. It may make some sense to you because he was adjudged the best player in Division 1 last season. And now, at 5:56, we announced the bombshell that a talented holding midfielder, Ebenezer Eje's dream of playing for Hearts could be short-lived. According to our reporter, the player has failed a medical. Also, Ghana SoccerNet reports that former Dwarfs and Inter-Allies defender Faisal Gariba has signed for New Edibiasi, and that's Faisal Gariba in the yellow shirt here. So if you go to my Joy Online, you can see all these stories, but let's go up and see a couple of them. So those are the stories involving the transfer window. It ends at 11:59, and we'll keep you updated from now all the way till it's done. Away in Africa, let's do some news about the CHAN. The African Nations Championships have been ongoing. It's day 5. And we've had a lot of goals today. The host nation, Rwanda, played, and guess what? They won again by a margin of 1. Let's see the highlights as they beat Gabon by 2-1. When we are done, we go to Rwanda and get some analysis from our correspondent there.
Round 2 of the African Nations Championship began with a pulsating clash between host Rwanda and Gabon in Group A at the Amahoro Stadium in Kigali. With a win over Ivory Coast in their opening fixture, Rwanda was sitting pretty whilst Gabon had a point from a goalless draw with Morocco in their opener. Rwanda wasted little time in applying pressure. An early corner from the right caused mild panic in the Gabon defence, with goalkeeper Stefan Moto floundering in the 6-yard area. And the keeper was at the centre of action in the 5th minute. After a cross was dealt with comfortably, he very nearly contributed to the list of bizarre international goals as his clearance kick rebounded off a Rwandan player and the ball ricocheted back towards the goal. And the home team's dominance continued. A free kick by Bayesenge Emery drew a fine save from the Gabonese keeper. Their attacking approach was rewarded in the 42nd minute when Jacques Tuyisenge was put through the middle. The ball fell kindly for Anis Segura, who made it sure with a powerful shot from the right. And 2 minutes into the second half, Segura was on hand to heap more misery on Gabon.
Can he go all the way? Segura! Yes, he does! Anis Segura makes it 2-0.
But Gabon showed they were up for the fight and pulled the goal back. 7 minutes later, a superb left-footed cross by Mario Mandrat was headed home by Aaron Bopenza. The home team appeared unsettled by that setback, and only a brilliant reflex save by Eric Ndiamishe prevented an equalising goal. Minutes later, Gabon were reduced to 10 men when defender Chen Kabi collected a second yellow card for a foul on Dominic Savio-Nshuti. Rwanda pushed for a third, and Savio-Nshuti drew a good save from Moto in the Gabon goal. 4 minutes later, Gabon came within centimetres of equalising. Substitute Stevie Nsambe's free kick beat the keeper, but not the crossbar. That was to be
fantastic scenes in Rwanda. Host and win is on course. For a country that normally doesn't qualify for the African Cup of Nations, this will be great indeed. And we'll get live updates now from Kigali. Asha Kamugisha, we are trying to get her on the line. Have we got her now? Okay, we don't have her now, unfortunately. So we'll have to go to tennis to do some other stories. Now, in the Australian Open, as you may know, there were some upsets in the first